Hi, ladies and gentlemen, fellow traders. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Forex Outlook with Chart Engineering Pro. We really appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video, and we do not take you for granted at all. If you haven't yet subscribed or you are new to this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content we post here. And if you also find value with what we share here, be sure to like, drop your comments, share your views, and share this video to your fellow traders or anyone who would find this information useful. We'll also drop a link to the free Telegram group in the description of this video where we share updates of these setups as the week unfolds. We are going to talk about the recap at the end of this video, so we'll just dive right into what we have for the coming week. And we're going to look at the economic calendar first, then we take it off from there. So stay tuned. So for this week, we have a bank holiday for GBP, JPY, and Chinese yuan. On Monday. On Tuesday, we're going to have the AUD cash rate, the monetary policy statement, which is a very high impact news for the Australian dollar. So you have to take note of that. We also have the ISM services PMI for the USD later in the day, and the job openings, and also we're going to have the NZD employment change or unemployment rate, more like the NFP for NZD, and there's going to be a Japanese yen bank holiday, also a bank holiday. On Wednesday and Thursday there's no high impact news. On Friday we have a bank holiday for in France, so it's going to affect the euro, and then we have the Bank of England's governor speaking later in that day. So we're going to have the unemployment change for the CAD, and it's because an NFP week, we're going to have NFP for the USD. So let's take note of these high impact news for the coming week. And as we know, the tensions going on around, we might have certain price statements and tweets that may be popping up randomly to affect the market in one way or the other. So you just have to take note of that as well. So let's jump into the chart and see what we have for the week. This is DXY. So for DXY, last week we anticipated that price was going to pull back to this area of interest, or any of these two we have here, to give us a reaction to the downside. Price actually gave a very nice daily structure shift at the very first area of interest we have here, and as you can see, price has shifted the daily structure. So what we are going to look out for or wait for is to see price retest this daily structure point, and then we look for selling opportunities to the downside. So that's what we are going to look out for the coming week. These are the various targets we have for DXY, should price play out that way. So we are very bearish for DXY now, and price can only shift if we get a daily structure shift above the structure point, and we make our way to the zones above, or probably break above these zones and head upwards. Until then, we are very bearish on DXY for the coming week. This is EURUSD, and so for EURUSD is developing something called a leading diagonal, and we have a 53535 structure. So we are currently yet to see the formation of the fifth wave, and if that also plays out, it's going to give us a nice harmonic pattern formation. And if it plays out, this is going to be the harmonic pattern that we are looking at. This is going to be the X, this is going to be the A, the B leg, the C leg, and the D leg. So we are hoping, or we are expecting price, or anticipating that price is going to find its way all the way to this targets over here. So let's break it down to the 4-hour time frame. As you can see, so these are the waves. This whole wave here is wave 1, wave 2, and this 5-wave structure is wave 3, and this 3-wave structure is wave 4. So you're looking out for another 5-wave structure all the way up to this point. And as you can see, currently price has given us the very first wave, or it has given us a daily structure shift, or if you look at it from a daily perspective, it has given us a daily double bottom formation. So currently price is about to retest the daily, it has already retested the daily structure point, but looking at what we saw on DXY, we might have a little bit deeper pullback, which will give us a possible higher low formation. So we are expecting the price can pull back a bit deeper to give us a higher low formation, and we look for buying opportunities to the targets we have at the top here. And if this forms, it might look like an inverse head and shoulder. So this is going to be the left shoulder, this is going to be the head, and the possible right shoulder formation. And we'll take our buys from there to the upside. So we're just going to wait patiently and see how price retraces back here and give us buying opportunities to the upside. So this is what we have for EURUSD. This can be invalidated if price sells or breaks this or clears this 4-hour structure point and gives us another formation all the way downwards. Until then, we are very bullish on EURUSD, since we are also very bearish on DXY. So this is GBPUSD. So for GBPUSD, last 2 weeks, the position we're holding on GBPUSD, we took an L on it. We saw another opportunity during the week, and we took this sell price sold all the way here and then reversed back. But we didn't see this strong reversal coming, so we took an L on this one as well, on this move. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is, let's put this one aside first, clear the charts. Going into next week, initially we were expecting price to pull back into any of these areas of interest we have below, but price never made its way up down there. So going into next week, we are just looking out for this pullback into this area of interest. So we are looking out for this pullback into this area of interest to target the targets we have above, just as we saw on DXY. We just want the daily structure points retest, and we see a price sell. So that's what we're also going to look out for GBPUSD. So we are looking out for this retest or this pullback or higher low formation, and we take our buys from here to the upside. So we are very bullish on GBPUSD for the coming week. This is USDCHF. So for USDCHF, we're looking out for this potential harmonic pattern formation, and now price has given us a very strong shift. Price has reacted nicely from the area of interest we identified, and then giving us a nice daily structure shift. So what we're going to look out for is a possible retest of the daily structure points, and we'll look for selling opportunities from this daily structure point to the downside. So we are bearish on USDCHF for the coming week. This can only be invalidated if these highs are cleared and price makes its way above to clear these highs as well. Until then, we are very bearish on USDCHF for the coming week. This is AUDUSD. So AUDUSD has given us a nice reaction from first area of interest. So going into next week, we are looking forward to a possible pullback to this area of interest right here. If we get a pullback here or somewhere here, or even all the way back to the previous zone, we'll look for buying opportunities from there and take it to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDUSD also for the coming week. Should price make its way all the way back into this zone, we'll still look for buying opportunities here to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDUSD. This is NZDUSD. So NZDUSD has also reacted from an area of interest, a previous area of interest, and that's given us a daily structure shift right here. We have a daily structure shift here, and it's also playing out. It's giving us an impulsive wave of a five-wave impulsive wave, and we will identify that. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is a pullback to form a higher low formation and for buying opportunities to the upside. So these are the waves that have been identified. So this is wave 1. This is wave 1, wave 2. This whole move is wave 3, and this consolidation is wave 4. We are looking forward to a possible wave 5 to the upside. So we are looking forward to a bullish move on NZDUSD. And if this pullback comes, or if this higher low formation develops, it's going to give us like an inverse head and shoulder formation, and then we take our buys from there to the upside. This is USDJPY. So for USDJPY, I think some months or weeks back, we're looking forward to see price retest this area of interest to give us buying opportunities to the upside. Price retested and it kept playing around, kept consolidating, and then now we have a proper retest, a proper pullback, hitting both areas of interest. So going into next week, we can look forward to some reversal patterns or some buying confirmations around these zones, and look forward to buys from here to the upside. So these are the various targets we have for for USDJPY. So we are bullish on USDJPY for the coming week. This can only be invalidated if we get, I think, a weekly or a daily candle closure below this areas of interest, and price comes for a pullback and then continues to the downside. So we are very bullish on USDJPY. This is EURJPY, and for EURJPY we are holding a position here, and it hits our TP. So we're holding this position from the previous week, and it hit our TP here, and price retraced all the way back to the entry area and collapsed or gave a very strong momentum to the downside. So initially 2 weeks ago, we took our first position somewhere around here, and we got hit by the SL, and then we got a re-entry, and that's what played out during this week. So we won, or we hit our take profit on this position on EURJPY, and after the JPY news, price has collapsed like that. But as we can see, it has given us the retest we have been looking out for 4 weeks now. So now we have the retest, and price broke through the very first area of interest we're looking out for to take our buys from. It has also hit our second area of interest. So going into next week, if we get any buying confirmation, so we see buying reactions from here, we can take our buys to the upside, targeting the various targets we have, what we had before at the upside over here. So we are still looking at the bullish side for EURJPY or for the JPY pairs. If this breaks, we get a daily candle clearing these lows, these daily structure points, or this one, and price comes for a retest, then we know that we are going bearish with the EURJPY. This is GBPJPY, similar to EURJPY. We're looking forward to this possible pullback or retest to give us some buying confirmations to the upside. Price has now retested the second zone as well, so we're going to look for buying opportunities from here or from here. Wherever we get the confirmations from to take our buys from, we'll take our buys and target these targets we have above for GBPJPY. This can only be invalidated if we get a weekly candle or a daily candle close below this structure point, or a weekly candle closing below this weekly structure point, and then it comes for a retest and goes to the downside. So until then, we are very bullish on GBPJPY. We have here AUDJPY, similar setup. We're looking forward to a possible pullback into any of these areas of interest to take our buys from. So we now have this retest, and we are going to look forward to possible buying opportunities to the various targets we have above for AUDJPY. So we are very bullish on AUDJPY as well. This is NZDJPY. So NZDJPY, we anticipated a possible pullback into these areas of interest. Then we look for our buying opportunities to the upside. Price has now retested them, and then you're going to look for the buying opportunities to the upside. So you just have to be patient to see how price develops, so for us to engage our buys to the upside. So these are the various targets we have for NZDJPY on the bullish side. Should price break below this zone and come for a retest, then we know we're heading down for NZDJPY. This is EURCHF. This trade took us out. We got taken out. Well, we closed a bit earlier before we were taken out. We caught this position. We identified this head and shoulder formation, and we go to the 4-hour time frame. So we initially identified this head and shoulder formation, which this is going to be the left shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder. So we were anticipating a possible retest of the neckline. Price started moving, so we caught this trade midway, and we caught this trade, but then later on, the way price was developing, we just realized that it was going to reverse. So we took early profits or small profits around here, and then price just went straight to the SL. And now it has now given us a very strong momentum all the way back to give us some selling confirmation. So going into next week, now this can be identified as the head and shoulder. That's given us a whole new structure. So this is more like the left shoulder. This is the head, and now this is giving us the right shoulder. So we are looking forward to selling opportunities to the downside for EURCHF. So going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is a possible pullback into any of these two areas of interest. If price retests this first area of interest, look for selling opportunities to the downside. Price also retest the previous zone we had, should price retest the second zone above, we will still be interested in taking the sales from there to the downside. So these are the various targets we have for EURCHF. So if we get these sales, these are going to be our targets, so TP1, TP2, TP3. And should price break above this zone, then we know we are heading upwards. So until then, we are now very bearish on EURCHF. This is GBPCHF, and if we go to the weekly time frame, you can see a very nice rejection candle that has reacted from the area of interest we have above here. So going into next week, we are likely going to see another we are likely going to see maybe another rejection candle before a strong bearish momentum candle, or we can also see a strong bearish momentum candle right from here to the downside. So we have a similar formation here. We saw this rejection candle, and then it was followed by a very strong bearish engulfing candle, and price just collapsed from there. So if we get a very strong bearish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame, and if it also shifts the structure we have, weekly structure we have here, we'll look for a retest and then take ourselves to the downside. So then we drop down to lower time frame and see how we can approach this as well. Sorry. So going into next week, what we can also do is if price develops a double top formation right here, or even a head and shoulder formation right at the area of interest, we can look forward to a possible retest of the neckline of the double top. We look for our selling opportunities to the downside. That's the very first scenario. If we get the reversal pattern develop right at the area of interest. Also, the second scenario is if we get a daily candle or a weekly candle close below. This is a weekly structure point. But if we get a daily candle also close below the structure point, and we get a possible lower high formation, so it's going to give us something like a head and shoulder formation, and then we take ourselves to the downside for GBPCHF. So we are just going to be patient to see how price develops for the week, and then we'll take our decision on GBPCHF. This can only be invalidated if price makes its way above this zone and then continues to the upside. So we are very bearish on GBPCHF. We just have to be patient to see how it develops. Then we take our decision from there. This is CADCHF, and for CADCHF, it has been playing around for some time. And last week we were looking forward to a bullish move. We were looking forward to a possible retest around somewhere here. And we take our bias to the upside. But upon second thoughts, it looks like CHF is very strong now. And if we are not really seeing any momentum in crude oil. So if crude oil gains momentum to the upside, then we'll see CAD becoming very strong. But since crude oil is kind of now either going to fall or consolidate, we might see weakness in CAD. And then now, since we are seeing signs of a strong CHF, we are likely going to head downwards. So going into next week, we look forward to a break below this zone and come for a retest, and then we take ourselves to the downside. Or if we get a double top formation around here, this area of interest, we still take ourselves to the downside to this very target we have here for CADCHF. This can only be invalidated if this zone gets broken and it comes for a retest and continues to the upside. Until then, we're going to look out for the bearish side of things for CADCHF. This is EURGBP. We have been anticipating this move for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. I mean, when we identified this head and shoulder formation, we took ourselves somewhere around here. We got taken out. I think it was somewhere around, yes. When we got the retest here, we took ourselves somewhere here, and then we got taken out. And then price has now come back to give us the formation for the head and shoulder formation. But if you switch to the monthly time frame, it's actually a double top formation. If you switch the monthly time frame, it's a double top formation, and now we are here to see price retest the monthly structure points, or the retest the neckline of the double top of the monthly time frame, and then we look for selling opportunities to the downside. So it's very clear. We look forward to a possible pullback to the area of interest or the neckline of the double top, of the monthly double top, and we look for our selling opportunities to the downside. If you switch the weekly time frame, you see it as a head and shoulder formation, but on the monthly you see it as a double top. So we're just going to wait for a possible pullback to the area of interest, and then we take ourselves from there to the downside. This can also happen. You can also see price can also just retest this daily structure point and then collapse. So not necessarily going all the way back into the neckline of the weekly double top. Price can also just retest this daily structure point. This daily structure point here, can just retest this one and then continue downside. So we just have to be patient to see how price reacts when it gets to any of these areas of interest. So we are extremely bearish on EURGBP, and I think that's one of my best setups for the week that we're looking out for the week. It's very high. It has a very high probability to the downside, so we'll look out for that. This is NZDCAD, and NZDCAD is also, initially we're looking for it to the bearish side for NZDCAD, but it looks like price has shifted, or the market has shifted, so we're going to wait for price has now reacted from an area of interest, and we are going to wait for a daily structure shift here, wait for a daily candle closure above this daily structure point. We look forward to a possible higher low formation, and we take our buys to the upside. If it does that, it's going to give us an inverse head and shoulder formation, and we take our buys to the upside. So we are very bullish on NZDCAD now, and this is also a potential harmonic pattern formation. So if this plays out, we're going to look out for that. So these are various targets we have for NZDCAD for the coming week. This is the harmonic pattern that is likely developing right here. So this is going to be X, this is the A, this is the B leg, C leg, look forward to the D leg formation. So we're just going to wait patiently to see, wait for this structure shifts, and then we look forward to a lower high formation, and then take a higher low formation, and then we take our buys from there to the upside. So we're just going to be patient to see how price develops. We also have here AUDCAD. So for AUDCAD, we anticipated a reaction from this first area of interest in either the second or the third. And now we have a reaction from the first area of interest. But then going into next week, if we get price to pull back all the way to this area of interest to give us buying opportunities, we'll still consider it. If it pulls back all the way here to give us buying confirmations, we'll still consider it. But then if price does not pull back all the way there and it gives us this daily structure shift above, get a daily structure or daily candle break above this high over here, we'll wait for a pullback, a higher low formation, and we'll look for buying opportunities to the upside. So we are very bullish on AUDCAD for the coming week. So this is gold, and our gold is becoming a bit confusing. But then if we are going to see weakness in DXY, then we are likely going to see some bullishness for gold for the coming weeks ahead of us. So initially we anticipated that price is going to give us some bullish momentum from either of these two zones. And price has made its way to the second zone and has given us this bullish reaction we have here. So if we go to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour structure has shifted bullish, and so going into next week, what we'll be looking out for is either we get a pullback to give us something like a double bottom formation. Should we get a pullback to give us like a double bottom formation, then look forward to a continuation to the upside. This is also a daily structure point right here, where price can also react from to the bearish side. So yes, we will have to be very cautious. So this point right here is a daily structure point where price can react from and then just collapse. Already, it has even retested it and given us a rejection candle, a very first rejection candle from that structure point. So we just have to be patient to see how price develops at this area of interest before we take our shots to the buying side, because price can easily react from this structure point and just sell all the way down. So we're patient to see how it unfolds, and then take our decision from there. So wait for the possible reversal, cleaner reversal pattern from here, and then take our buys to the upside. For gold, this is silver, and silver's bullishness is cleaner than that of gold. So initially we were looking for a possible retest of any of these two areas of interest to give us bullish opportunities to the upside. Price has now retested and reacted strongly from the second area of interest, and that's also giving us something like a bullish flag formation. You see right here, we have this clean inverse head and shoulder formation where price retested the neckline for the first time, and price has also come all the way the second time or even the third time to react from the same neckline of this inverted head and shoulder. So price is likely going to give us a strong impulse all the way up to the upside. So it's more like AB is equal to CD. So this is like AB is equal to, it's likely going to give us an equal distance to like C to D. So more like a bullish momentum we are likely going to see from here on silver. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait for a lower high formation. Momentum is very strong, so we're just going to wait for a lower high formation, maybe in this back into the zone or wherever it gets to, and gives us some buying confirmations. Then we'll continue our buys to the upside for silver. So we are very bullish on silver for the coming week. Should price break below the zone and come to a retest, let me know you're heading downwards. Until then, we are very bullish on silver, and these are the targets we have above for silver. This is US30. So for US30, we are extremely bullish. Going into next week, we are looking for it to a possible pullback into this area of interest to give us buying opportunities to the upside. So we're going to look out for this pullback to the area of interest right here, look for buying opportunities and target these targets above, or wait for price to pull. If price finds its way all the way back to the second zone to the downside, at the downside we're just going to look for buying opportunities from here also to the upside for US30. So we are bullish, very bullish for US30 for the coming. We have here Bitcoin. So last week we were looking out for this pullback into this area of interest to give us selling opportunities to the downside. Price is here to give us a proper retest for us to consider the sells to the downside. So we are just going to wait patiently for price to make its way all the way up to 80k, between 80k to 85k around this region. And then we look for some rejections and some bearish confirmations, then we look for it to the sells to the downside. If price gets, if we get a weekly candle close above or break this weekly structure here, then we know we are heading up. But then if price gives us a reaction within this zone and gives us a bearish momentum, then we are heading downwards to 58k to 46k area. And the worst case scenario is going to be 35k for BTC. So now let's have a recap of last week's setups. This is USDCHF. So we're holding this buy from last week, last week, and then we were expecting that price was going to hit the second TP over here. Price hit the first TP, and then after FOMC, the price just reversed and then came all the way back to hit the break-even point. So we hit our first TP, but then our second TP was missed. So this is USDCHF, and we have EURUSD. We took a break even on EURUSD. Price direction changed completely, so we took a break even on EURUSD. And this is NZDUSD. We took an entry somewhere here. Price came all the way into profit. And looking at how the momentum was reversing on the DXY pairs, we just had to set our break even to break even on this one as well on the NZDUSD. So we are currently in P on NZDUSD. We hit our B on NZDUSD. So this is GBPNZD. So last week we look at the previous setup or position we were holding on to before we took this buy. So we're actually holding a sell position from somewhere here, and then looking at the price action, it wasn't very healthy for the bearish side, so we had to cut that trade and then take this buy position. So cut this buy from here all the way up. So price is now back into an area of interest where we can likely see some bullish reactions from again to the upside. So if price gives us some nice bullish confirmations within this zone, we can add another position here to the upside. So we are currently in profit on this position on GBPNZD, and this was what we were holding before. Yes, so before we were holding on to this sell, and then the way price was playing around wasn't healthy for the sells, and we took profits. We closed in small profits right here, and then we took our buy position the previous setup. So we also had a position on EURNZD. but then the way price reversed, we had to set our B, and then so this one also, we took this buy from here on Euro NZ. Initially, we were anticipating that price was going to shift this structure right here, daily structure here, give us a possible a higher low formation, then we take our buys to the upside. But this higher low came so deep and very sharp, so we had to set B and hit our B. But then going into next week, if we still get a buying opportunity right in this zone, we'll still take the buys from here. Just as we see on GBP and NZD. If price reacts from that zone and give us bullish confirmations, we'll still take our buys from here, targeting the same targets we had before, and this trade came back to hit the B. So we are still very bullish on Euro NZD. Should price give us some buying opportunities here, we'll still take the buys again to the upside with this same target. So we are still going to look out for these buys for Euro NZD for the coming week. And this is Brent crude oil. So last week we were anticipating that price was going to react from this area of interest to give us some buying opportunities all the way up. Price never pulled back to the area of interest, and then it just took off. And looking at how CAD is behaving, it's more likely we are likely going to see some settlements with this tensions in the Middle East, and if it succeeds, we are going to see price fall all the way back to around $75 per barrel, or between $75 per barrel or $60 per barrel for the Brent crude oil. So at this moment, there's nothing to say about UK oil or Brent crude oil. So all we have to do is wait to see how price develops. Should price make its way all the way back to this area of interest and give us buying opportunities, we can still take the buys from here. And if it breaks or clears these structure points here, then we know we're heading downwards to the $75 to $60 per barrel, and then we'll see how price plays out around the area, more like coming to fill up this gap we have here. So let's see how it goes for the coming week. So thank you so much for sticking through to the end of this video. Really appreciate you for your time and for sticking through to the end. I will encourage all of us to apply proper risk management to our trades and trade safe and sound. And then I wish all of us a profitable week ahead of us, and take good care of yourselves and have a wonderful time. I'll catch you on another episode. Thank you. Bye bye.